Alright then, so I did say that you wouldn't see this diagram again, but here it is, rearing its ugly head once more. But I just want to use it to explain how we're going to connect to our Redux store and where we're going to get data from and how we're going to sync our app with the Redux store. So this dashboard right here, this is listing all of the projects, right? Now, we're not going to reach out and grab data from this thing right here. We're going to grab it from the dashboard, and this is our container component. Then what we'll do is pass the data as props to the project list and then to the project summary. Okay, so that's what we're going to do in this tutorial. But first of all, we need to create that dummy data on our store. So to do that, let's go to the project reducer because we're going to create some dummy projects. And in here, what we'll need to do is create a project property. And this is going to be an array of different projects. Now, I'm just going to paste a series of objects in here, but I'll show you what they are now. So 3 objects. Each one has a unique ID, a title, and some content. So 3 simple projects, right? So now, when the application first starts and the reducers first run, this is going to set the state equal to the initial state to begin with, then it's going to return that. Now, in the root reducer, we combine the reducers, right? So the project reducer here, all that information is going to be stored on the state on a project property, all right? So this stuff right here is going to be stored on a project property on the state. Now we want to access that from our dashboard component. So let's save this, first of all, then head over to our dashboard component. So let's get rid of these. We don't need these reducers anymore. And open up components and get the dashboard. So now we want to connect to our store. Now we've seen how to do this in the previous tutorial series, and it's as simple as importing connect, which is a higher order component, from the React Redux library. Remember, this is the glue library which glues Redux to React, and that's what we're doing here. We're connecting the two together. We're going to connect this dashboard component with the Redux store. So then, down here, this is where we can connect. Connect is a function which returns a higher order component to take in the dashboard. So now we need to somehow map our state from the store to the props in this component. Now we do that by creating a function, and this function is going to be called map state to props. So this function right here takes in the state of our store. We have access to that. And then what we can do is return down here an object, and this object is going to represent which properties are attached to the props of this component. So then we can access them inside this component. So we want to create a property called projects on the props. Now this is going to be on the state object. Then remember, if we open up the reducers again, go to the root reducer, it's going to be on the project property of the state first of all. So state.project. Then inside that project object, we have this property right here, projects. So that's what we want to access. So project.projects. I hope that makes sense. And that's what we're grabbing, and we're attaching to a project property inside the props of this component. So we need to pass this function as a parameter to connect. So the connect function knows what to connect to, what data to get from the store. We're mapping that to our props object in here. So now what we could do is access props.projects inside this component, and it will get us this data. Okay? All right then. So first of all, let us just console.log and this.props. So if we save this now and view in a browser, I'm on the dashboard over here now, and we're going to inspect and go to console, and we see the props object. Now down here we can see a project property because this is what we wanted that to be called on the props object, and inside it we have access to those projects. So we have the data now, and what we need to do is take this data and we need to pass it down into the project list component right here so that that can access it and output the correct projects. So let's just comment this thing out for a minute. I'm going to use a bit of destructuring now to get the projects. I'm going to say const and then projects is equal to this.props. So that just grabs the project object off the props. You don't have to do this. I just like to do this. And then what we can do is pass those projects down as a prop into the project list component. So projects equals projects, these things right here. And now we're passing them down into this component. So let's open up that component, project list. Now we have to receive those props inside this component. So I'm going to use some destructuring directly in here to grab the projects like so. And that's grabbing the projects property off the props that we receive inside this component. And then what we can do is cycle through these projects right here and output a project summary for each individual project. So let's get rid of these for now. We don't need these anymore. And instead what we'll do is map through the projects. Now, in previous tutorials, I've done all of this stuff directly outside the return statement, but just for a change, I'm going to do it directly inside the return statement. So I'm going to open up my curly braces and then I'm going to say projects, double ampersand, projects.map, and I'll explain this in a second. Each time around we take the project in a function and we'll do something. So first of all, why did I do this bit? Well, if I just say projects.map, then we might not have any projects to begin with, or until our component reaches out to an external database in the future, we might not have any projects. So by adding this at the start, it's saying, okay, if we have projects, then I want you to do this. If we don't have projects, then don't bother doing this map thing because there's nothing to output. Make sense? So that's why we do this at the start. Okay then, so we're mapping through the projects here and we're taking an individual project each time we cycle through the project array, okay? Now what we want to do is output some JSX for each individual project. So I can just return that directly in here like so. And what we're going to do is return a project summary for each individual project, right? Now, we don't need to do that right there. What we want to do now is pass down as a prop the individual project. So we can pass that down like so. We're grabbing the project that we're currently iterating across right there, passing it down as a prop into project summary like that. And the key is going to be the project ID. So we can say project.id. And then we'll close off that. Okay, so basically what we're saying is we're taking the project as a prop, we're cycling through those projects if we have some, and then each time around, what we're doing is returning some JSX. We're going to output a project summary, which is this component, and for each project summary, we're passing down an individual project and assigning a key value. So now, inside the project summary, we receive an individual project each time. So what we can do, instead of outputting this text, we could output dynamically project.title. Now we don't have an author field or a time field just yet, so we'll leave these as is, but at least now the project title will be directly output. So let's just save this and view this in a browser. And now we can see the projects that we had in our store, they are being output to the DOM over here. So that's pretty cool, right? We've now connected our application to our Redux store and we're grabbing data inside our dashboard from that store and we're passing it down into the project list and the project summary components, then outputting it to the DOM. Now in reality, we don't really want to use dummy data like we have done. We want to use some kind of external database, and to do that we're going to have to start using asynchronous code, and we're going to have to use that within Redux somehow because Redux is keeping track of our state of the application. So in the next video I want to talk about how we can use asynchronous code with Redux.